line of questioning. So I'm taking it for him. He didn't have a choice to go. Maybe.
I've experienced, well, more than once, but once specifically, when a spirit was afraid to face judgment because he had been a less than stellar human and did not want to deal with what he had been taught would be the aftermath of that.
Maybe I need to reword my question to Frank then.
I would think about that.
Yeah, maybe it is along that line. Maybe he's afraid as well. We don't know.
Well, we don't know. And to be frank about it, well, that just didn't come out quite right. But, no pun intended. And if Frank is around listening, then I did not mean that to you. But, maybe here is not the worst. Okay? I think that maybe having to continue experiencing what you did that was so bad would be a horrid thing.
Yeah.
So maybe you have to do an atonement or something of that nature. But, I don't know. I mean, people are like, oh, well, God is loving and generous and kind, and he wouldn't be, he wouldn't do things. And I'm like, he's loving and generous and kind to people that accept his words.
Well, yeah, and you also got to remember that even though, for those who believe in God and everything, he also gave people free will.
Yes.
And so,
exactly.
And so sometimes I would think bad things stuff happens because of your own free will and the choices that you made. It's, I hear people make their cases on each side like, well, why would God give these babies disease and stuff like that? Well, it might not be about the babies themselves, but it was the free will of the actions of either parents or people in charge or something,
Something somewhere. I just don't think that there's, I don't know. I don't think that there's always an action and a reaction. Sometimes I think stuff just happens. And it's a lesson for somebody involved in that. I fell within 2 hours of deplaning on vacation and was admitted in the hospital within the third. And people were like, oh my gosh, oh, this is hideous, it's horrible. Well, mainly because it hurt.
Yeah.
But there were lessons that I wasn't paying attention to that needed to be addressed. And that accident made me stop and assess.
And I agree with that. I think lots of things that happen into your life are either to teach you a lesson, or it's to help, or teach someone else a lesson.
Yes. And, I didn't really care for that. And I'm still not real keen on it because, physical therapy sucks. But it's not the worst thing that could have happened.
And not only that, when you think about it, would you have stopped to smell the roses if anything less would have happened to you?
No, because
see,
that's what's so weird is that this particular break happens in 1% of all fractures. And so, if I finally break into the 1%, right?
Right.
And this is the one I get? I don't think so. That somebody just had a warped sense of humor that day. But I would not have sat still. If this were not something that they said you are absolutely to put no weight on it whatsoever, we'll see you in 6 weeks for more x-rays, do you think I would have stayed down?
No, and you still would have been missing out on
the lesson.
That's right. And sometimes I think people lose track. They just think, oh my gosh, this is so tragic. This happened to me and this happened to me. But if they stop and think about it for a moment and say, okay, this is not a very good situation right now, but what can I take from this situation?
Right.
And when you look at things in that kind of way, you can kind of see why this has happened,
Yeah. And, there's nothing wrong with stopping and smelling the roses.
Oh, I know. Everybody should do that once in a while. I mean, there's so much other that's important along with your work that sometimes those other things get left in the wings,
Yeah. And they're important things, and they're once-in-a-lifetime things that you don't get back.
Yes. So sometimes you have to do that, and sometimes you're made to do that.
Well, sometimes you have the best of intentions to be doing that, and it's still life gets in your way, and you're so caught up.
That's true. That is very true.
And that was happening to me. But we have a question right after we go to break. So we'll be back in 3 minutes. Y'all enjoy this.
Listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk, only on Paranormal Experienced Radio, broadcasting live out of Birmingham, Alabama.
And we are back. You're listening to Paranormal Experienced Radio, and I am Kat Hobson, your host, joined by Shelly Burk Robertson, who is our Friday night host of Ghost Talk Radio with 187 PI. She owns the Old Paulding Jail, and she can answer some questions, buddy, because she is a researcher extraordinaire. Now,
yes.
well, it is true.
Yes.
Now, the question that I had coming in from chat is from Carl. He wanted to know what kind of equipment is used in the jail.
Okay, well, we do have surveillance cameras all over the jail that are monitoring 24/7 with sound, and I can access those from my home, from my cell phone, from wherever. And sometimes I'll be sitting here at my house and I'll be having coffee, and I'll look in and listen and watch the jail. And I'm going to try an experiment this week, and I haven't done it. Yet, and it just came to me. I can talk through one of the monitors, so I'm going to try to talk to them through the monitor from my house and see if they will talk back to me.
Tam, that is a great idea.
I'm going to try it because we were talking about that, and I was like, is this button so I can talk through the monitor up there, Vincent? And he said, yeah. I said, I'm going to try to talk to him this week because I haven't been up there, for a few days or whatever. And some things have happened at my house, and I think they're ready to see me. So,
well, they do miss you when you don't go.
I think so. So I'm going to, maybe tomorrow, try to talk to them through the monitors over the internet up there and see if I get lucky.
Well, you're going to have to explain to them that they have to use the things in the jail because you don't allow them to come into your home.
Yes. I'll have to let them know that. Absolutely. I think, though, over the Thanksgiving holiday, I had some visitors this week. So, a couple of days I saw shadows in my house, and Vincent was out of town working, and he gets home, and I told him, I heard a female voice. I told him, no, you can't talk to me here. And it sounded like someone was in my sewing room, and I saw a couple of shadows, but we had a Mexican dime show up on our kitchen floor.
That was weird.
Yes. And a flashlight, one of Vincent's personal flashlights that he lost during Halloween up there, shows up in my new car in the glove box, and that car has never went to the jail yet.
That was a little trippy.
Yeah. But stuff happens like that.
Let me say that you did not trade a car for that, so somebody didn't take that out of your old car and just put it in your glove box for you.
That's exactly correct. I had drove that car one time from the car lot to my house, and the next time we get in it, which was several days later, I go to get the manual book out just like I did when I bought the car, and lo and behold, I said, uh-oh, you're not going to believe this, Vincent. Take a look at this. And he was like, have you been to the jail with this car? And I'm like, no, I did not go up there. And no, I did not take this car up there. So, yeah, so I think they've made some visits.
Well, they show you on the monitors. What is the weirdest thing that's happened when you had been away for a while?
Oh, geez. I'll tell you. The weirdest thing. I've went back and stuff showed up. Like I had all these little dolls be put in a circle in that front room with some other little tiny trinket toys. And those trinket toys were not in the jail prior to that. They just showed up.
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, I put these little dolls all around the jail. Me and Vincent were the last ones to leave. And I said, I want to see if they get moved because I caught the little girl singing, right? On some of the recordings. So I brought some dolls for her, and we wrote down